Hey, good morning, everybody. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. I want to show you a few things in this video. We're going to get to, snow, rain, maybe a little bit of the severe weather. We'll have a number of different clips here, so we'll take a look at this first. April 1st, no fooling here, noon time, we're going to end up having some snow up in areas of like Mobridge, Aberdeen. How much? We'll go ahead and break that down here for you. First, I want to make sure that you're aware. Be sure to see down here below where it says support the stream, PayPal, SD Weather Enthusiast. You can, a dollar, $5, $100, any of that. You can, it definitely helps. You can also Venmo me at Henry Kramer. You can see right down there. This is courtesy of the Chaseros system that I've been developing at 605 Chaser. So I appreciate all of that. Efforts from our chasing crew that is out there testing it. We have them spread out all across the U.S., so make sure that you continue to support our efforts in the extremely early and painstaking process of development of this Chaser OS app. All right, let's go ahead and get to the snow. Now we're taking a look here at the GFS model that was updated at 06Z. So overnight, and this is showing around 5 p.m. We're going to have that rain in Sioux Falls area, and Watertown starts to get a little bit heavier of the snow bands on the 1st around 9 p.m. It slowly gets more moisture into it, and you can see down in winter there, it gets the darker shades of blue. That definitely looks like we're going to get some more snow there with a lot of moisture. But again, Sioux Falls looks to have a majority of this as rain until we get into Thursday and into Friday. That's when things get a little dicey. We could have some mixing going on there. So right now I want to just kind of flip over and show you because Thursday is my real concern. As of right now as far as the southeast goes. So if we take a look at the 06Z NAM, we'll take a look at that same time frame. As you can see, 10 o'clock, it looks like it's going to be a messy, freezing rain, potentially kind of an icing event. We'll see how that plays out. We're going to also look at the HRRR. These are all updated at 06Z, so we're comparing them, and the HRRR brings it as more rain. I'm thankful if we get more of the rain. That's what we definitely need for the Sioux Falls area and much of the Northern Plains or the U.S. in general. 3K NAM, take a look at that. Same time frame. That looks like 10 a.m. Is going to have a kind of a dry slot. So let's kind of take a look at the 3K NAM a little bit further progression. That definitely shows more of it is going to be rain in the southeast than anything, but it remains to be seen. Let's go back and do a HRRR run with this. If we take a look at that through sliding all the way through this, we could certainly see how that rain and then eventually the icing goes in there. And we'll take a quick peek at NAM 6Z. There it is. This is basically the go-to that I've got lately, the NAM one. And it's looking like it's going to be interesting for Friday. We're skipping ahead here. I don't have very many models that are available this far out. We've got the NAM 3K this far out, but as you can see, the NAM also puts Friday as a mess for icing potential. So let's take a look at this through the eyes of GFS. GFS, surprisingly, for that same time frame, puts it as nothing really in Sioux Falls, but some heavier bands of snow expected in that Mobridge, Cherry Creek area in central portions of South Dakota. And if we progress this along, we could get some snow in the southeast here of South Dakota. But I do want to make sure we mention this as well. Take a look. Yeah, we're looking at GFS right now, but we're going to get back to the NAM here and show you kind of the severe weather overall as well, so that you can kind of see that potential too. This is a GFS at 06Z, and this is the NAM at 06Z. Look at that overall, battle of the seasons, if you will. Minneapolis, major icing event. Wisconsin, a major icing event. And then just to the south into areas of Des Moines and Iowa and even southern tip of Wisconsin, we do have that rain. If we go a little bit further out here, you can see that moves off. And again, that really is going to be a difficult forecast, if you will. The reason for that is the surface temperatures. A fluctuation of a couple of degrees could mean the difference between rain, ice, a slushy mix, or buckets of snow. So this forecast is going to be very difficult, and that's why you see a lot of people, you know, maybe not posting, but others are posting a bunch of stuff about it. It's very, very difficult to pinpoint snowfall amounts, and I wanted to mention that because as we go into the snowfall amounts, we're going to take a look at the 24-hour 10 to 1 ratio. So what does 10 to 1 mean? That means basically 1 inch of rain would equal 10 inches of snow. So the more moisture, obviously, the more likely that we're going to see heavier bands of snow. Now this is 24-hour snowfall 10 to 1 ratio. So this would be basically Thursday into Friday morning. We could end up having about 8 to 7 or 7 to 8 inches between Gettysburg and Pierre. That remains to be seen. That same time frame, let's take a look at the 3K NAM. That shows that. But we do want to mention the GFS here. Again, this is Thursday into Friday only. Now let's take a look at the major, between now and when this whole thing is potentially done. Let me back it up here for a little bit. So this is between this update and however far along I go. Okay, I don't want to freak you out, but take a look at that. This is what it has the potential to do. But again, everything could change. And this is just GFS. I do have to back it up a little bit here from this app here. All right, so if you take a look at that, just the third, I can really go out and show you a comparison for 06Z. So we're going to take a look at the AI version of the Euro, the European model. That's what it shows between now and April 3rd, 1 p.m. possible. NAM, same update time frame of 06Z, and that's what it shows between now and Friday, April 3rd at 1 p.m. NAM 3K, 10 inches in Mobridge, 12, almost 13 inches in Gettysburg. Now, let's take a look at the 06Z of the blended models, kind of putting a number of it's an ensemble, so it basically puts all of them together and gives best case scenario, worst case scenario type of thing and blends that together. So between now and the third, this is kind of putting it more reserved as not going to be near as much. So the main thing that I want to hit home with this is winter's not over. Be prepared for some crazy weather. I mean, you live in South Dakota and the northern plains, winter has a tendency to definitely stick around. It seems like it never wants to leave fully, and it'll show its crazy head just when you least expect it, just when you think, man, 80s and 90s that we had not that long ago, and now we got crazy snow happening. So definitely extremes. Now, let's go ahead and bring you to the severe weather outlook. And for that, I'm going to utilize our Chaser OS app. Let me bring that up here for you. All right, again, this is all still in development stages. You're seeing this in its development stages. And this is on a desktop right now. So it's got a little bit of a different view, but it does automatically update regularly. It also, the screen resolution and how it looks uh, changes based off of what your screen on your device that you're using. All right, let's take a look at the SPC categories here for today. It does only have day one because this is mainly a chaser operation system or a system that is geared toward chasers. However, there are other features in here that are for just regular consumers that don't want to go chasing crazy weather like some of us do. So as you can see, if you hover over here, it'll tell you enhanced, it'll tell you slight risk, marginal, general thunderstorm risk, and then it's got a legend over here to kind of show you. There's also LSRs. And what does LSR mean? LSRs are the latest storm reports. So these will give you ground truth information, and we have gathered this information. It pulls in automatically whenever there is a storm report and gives you vital information. Now, you can also click up here and you can go to, it doesn't really matter which state that you want to go to, and it'll pull mesoscale parameter information based off the center point of that state. When you have GPS mode activated, it will actually kind of follow along with you and give you live updates. That's actually part of the thing that I have in my lower third here, this bar at the bottom. You can do that on the 605 Chaser broadcast mode. And you can put in your parameters, whatever your handle is. Mine is 605 Chaser. So my handle right here, I put in there, and that allows the ticker to have follow us on all socials, and it puts the Facebook and the TikTok and X and all of that. There's a couple other features that I kind of want to spend time to discuss about. There's a storm structure verdict. Obviously, we have it on South Dakota right now, so there's really not much going on. So, for that, I want to kind of bring it to a different area. Let's bring it to Oklahoma and see how that changes. It's fetching the information. It brings a 2. 2 isn't that huge, but you can also take a look at the Y, and then it gives you where these numbers are coming from and what exactly that is. Why is it only 2? It brings it back to that. Let me shut off the SPC categories. It's going to take a minute for it to update here. Seem to be having, well, we definitely know that we have some glitches that we got to work through, that's for sure. So we'll have to figure that out. Not sure, that wasn't doing that yesterday, so it could be that my live stream is going a little crazy. So we'll figure that out. But what I was going to do is kind of show you that it also has the hail risk, the tornado risk. Let me just do a quick refresh here and see. Okay, yeah, just my computer. All right, so tornado 5% and 2%. It also is trying to pick up on the SIG numbers that they have, but it's not doing a real good job of that because I think the placeholders and all that for the SIG through the Storm Prediction Center is not really, it's fairly new yet, so it's having a hard time figuring out where to put the dashes and all that. So that is why we have the development mode. But as you can see, when we're in Oklahoma, it's got a 5 out of 10 for the engine. And this is showing, again, right here, the confidence engine stores atmospheric conditions, all that there. Structure is showing a 2 because there's really not a whole lot of structure going on right now from Oklahoma City standpoint. We're looking at the radar there. There's really not anything going on. And then it again gives all this Y, and in the Y tab, there's that 605 Chaser broadcast mode that you can, that'll be unlocked only for chasers because obviously regular folks aren't going to want to go do a live stream with this. However, we will figure out a way to unlock it subscription wise if you wish. It would just be a higher price tier. It also brings live surface observation information pulled in directly from whatever state you select here. So when you select a different state, let's say we're going to go to Texas and see what's going on in Texas here. Okay, it zooms directly into the center portion of the state automatically, and then basically spans out 400 miles from there. Obviously, Texas is a pretty big state, so that makes it a little tricky to have that. But this is pulling in the information, the CAPE, 890 convective atmospheric potential energy, and then the effective shear. Again, this is information that is the center of Texas because we're not in GPS mode. Now, if we go to GPS mode, it's going to automatically bring us back to South Dakota because that's where I'm at. So I won't show you that. But it also has boundary detection. There is another spot where you can put in the intercept section. If you go to intercept, minimum or minutes to optimal window. This is basically the engine is trying to figure out when, in this particular dropdown, we've got Texas. So when is the optimal or peak CAPE and SIN eroding time? Well, it's estimating it based off of SIN timeline that is being pulled from the HRRR. And this is suggesting that around 2 o'clock, the SIN is definitely going to start eroding, and there's going to be a peak in the convective atmospheric potential energy, or CAPE. And we also have the capability to navigate to intercept. All right. That is only if I have GPS mode. There's also find today's best target. Now, it does have a gated thing where it will not allow you to just click, click, click automatically. So it basically allows you to check every 30 up to basically 30 minutes. If you check within that 30 minutes, it's going to be gated and it will not allow you to, it'll just basically give you the same results. So if I go to find today's best target or national target, you can see that it updates here. And it's showing Tillman County, Oklahoma. Now, is this going to be 100% accurate at this time? No. Atmospheres change. That's why we built it to allow for things to, chasers to be able to click on it and find it. See where it says that based on all the atmospheric data that's ingested into this app, where does it think the best chase mode is? It's got tornado, hail, wind. So whether you are a wind data guru or you're a hail pounding chaser and you just want to hit and punch those hail cores, or you're a crazy tornado chaser and trying to get that coverage so that you can alert people of the most dangerous stuff, you've got that covered. And then obviously if you hit refresh targets and it's past the 30 minutes, it'll give you a new update. Now, the next thing I do see that I need to change a couple of things here where I'll have to make sure I get a collapse. There it is. I thought I had that in there. So you can collapse it so it doesn't stay there, but it still keeps this information here. There's also Get AI Chase Briefing. Yes, I know everybody's freaking out. It's AI. Oh no, this is not good. It's just some information that it pulls, and it gives you basically a disclaimer. When you first open up the app, it says this is just, it's data. Make sure that you still rely on your other major sources, the Storm Prediction Center, the National Weather Service. I mean, we're all smart enough to know, but it gives you basically a breakdown without having to really think about it in the moment. Storm Chase Briefing, the target for today is April 1st. So move northeast 43 miles towards intercept corridor, position along US. Now, why does it say northeast 43 miles? I'm in South Dakota. Well, I don't have GPS mode activated, and it is also basing it off of the center of the state. There's a marginal setup and strategy. Stay mobile on north-south roads. So again, those are no-brainers, but some people may not know that. Storms moving west-southwest at 25 knots. You'll need to stay ahead and south of cores. Good road network in this area for repositioning. Confidence low to medium. There's modest cape. Bottom line, chaseable, but not a classic setup. More of a photography day than significant. And again, this is basing it off of the center of the state and the current atmosphere. And there's really not a whole lot going on. So we can also collapse that. The other thing that we do have is we have just kind of some things here. East flank roads kind of gives you a no-brainer thing here, but tells you. You can also, if you want to go ahead and type in where you actually, you don't trust the national best targets, you can type in here where you want to go, that type of thing. Now, the other thing that I want to mention, let's take a look if I activate GPS, okay? GPS. So obviously in South Dakota. Now I want to go to navigate to intercept. What's going to happen there? Well, you can't see it right now, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up my other window that came up. And hang on one second. All right, let's see. It's got my address. But that's okay. We'll close this. And that's not what we wanted to do. We got to go back to that. And we've got to go back to navigate to intercept. All right, so then if I were to hit leave now, it's telling you where the best area is to hit and how long it's going to take. So it's saying East 910 Road, Geary, Oklahoma. Crazy. So obviously, definitely very cool feature to have in there. Let's go ahead and shut that off. I don't know if you guys were able to see that. Let's verify that you were able to see that. Yeah, you guys were able to see that, so you can definitely see that's where it got. All right. Now let's go ahead and it says minutes to optimal window. Well, shoot, it's saying minutes to optimal window 24, but you're in South Dakota. Well, it's an optimal window for Peak Cape and SIN, or convective inhibitor. I can't remember what that. Basically, the cap. Okay, when is the cap going to be gone? And that doesn't mean that, oh, that means we're going to get severe weather. No, it doesn't mean we're going to get severe weather in South Dakota. It just means that the atmosphere is basically clearing up things enough that it's going to be able to, if all the other elements were there, that you would actually have a great day of chasing, if, again, only if the rest of the elements were there. It also has storm motion, what the, if GPS mode is on, gives all that information. And you saw that glitch there, right? Well, it's grabbing information. There's also sounding. Now, in South Dakota, due to some cuts with the National Weather Service in recent years, the balloon data doesn't, it's 12 hours old. So certain places will not have sounding data with the balloon data from where this is being pulled as often. Obviously, if we go to Oklahoma, okay, it's awaiting for that information. Obviously, it's 8:30 in the morning, so they're not going to be putting anything out there. But the peak Cape is 9 a.m. SIN, that type of thing. But again, a lot of things there. There's also this great feature, GPS mode. I'll activate that again, and it brings up Find Shelter Now. So if we were not in South Dakota, if we were in Oklahoma or somewhere where the severe weather is, we can click on Find Shelter Now, and it's going to grab information based off of my GPS, telling me go to Vera and some of these things and fire station. Now, this is a cool feature more so for um, folks that have like mobile homes and they don't know where to go. It suggests fire station, hospital, those types of things. But if the FEMA uh, shelters were activated, then it would actually tell you where to go based on those FEMA activations. And here's another, I clicked on it, so I want you to see this as well. So I clicked on it and it tells me where to go from where I'm currently at. It's crazy. Tells me exactly where to go and how to get there, and it's with Google Maps. The next thing is you're able to go in here and you can edit your fuel range. So you can actually put, okay, how many miles per gallon does my vehicle get? And how many gallons do I have? And it will, let's just say we have, let me say we have a great vehicle and a big truck with 25-gallon tank. And let's say we get 15 miles to the gallon. You can go 375 miles. And then it kind of gives you all of that information, gives you road intel. And here's another cool feature, storm reports. If you're a chaser, the hardest thing is you're in the moment, but you want to get information out to the public and to the National Weather Service as quickly as possible. So, how do you do that? You do storm reports. Now, this feature is only going to be unlocked for storm chasers. I'm going to tell you that right now because we don't need people. We don't need the public just blasting National Weather Service. We need this to be vetted, and we'll have to figure out how to vet that so that we don't have people going crazy making reports. All right, so you click on, let's say we click on, this is only going to pull in all this great information if your GPS is activated. Otherwise, it won't be showing the true accurate information. It'll show like what you're reporting. But let me show you. So I have GPS mode activated right now. Let's say that that you spotted a tornado, okay? I click on tornado. And what does it do? Let me make sure this is what it does is it automatically allows you to do that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to hit post, but you can go in here and you can, it also pulls that there's a special weather statement, that type of thing. But you can go in here and edit whatever you want, and then you could finally end up hitting post. Now, you click that, discard, and then you're good to go. So that's the great feature on there. It's got it for wall clouds, flash flooding, structure damage, funnel cloud, all the things that storm spotters typically would want. So those are some cool features. Uh, let's take a look here. Overview, all of this. Don't think there's really anything else. Structure, got all that. Engine, again, engine information is based off of atmospheric conditions. Yes, 4 out of 10, but you have to be mindful for what type of storm conditions that means. Okay? And then structure, nothing there. And the Y's. All right? That's all the information. Now let's go ahead and take a look at your 7-day forecast. 7-day forecast. Oh, look at this. Let's make sure that's updated here. We'll hit refresh. Sioux Falls, 42 for a high today. Chance of snow showers, then light rain. Well, that was early in the day because it certainly isn't going to snow when it's 42 degrees. But we'll see how this plays out. The 32 degrees for the night and rain, it could end up being a little mix, not going to lie, with 32 degrees, and depending on how that wind comes through from the northwest. The winds on tomorrow, 38, 40 for Friday. Again, snow on Saturday, possibly 34% chance. Sunday, sunny, starting to warm back up into the 50s. Now, this is a cool thing that I developed as well. Let's take a look at Aberdeen. Whoops, Aberdeen.com. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so we take a look at that. And we've got more snow than anything. So plenty of snow possibilities there. There's also this cool feature. Now, this isn't available to the public. It's just something that I like to be able to keep track of. It gives me all the information, that type of thing. Shows currently Sioux Falls is 14.6 below the seasonal average. This is a breakdown of the 30-year average. Okay, you got Rapid City in there. There's a couple of differences. Okay, 34 for the snowfall deficit compared to the 30-year average. Here we've got 15.4. Lead, that's why we got all these fires, folks. 118 inches below the 30-year seasonal average. Aberdeen, we're the closest to my prediction on that. But the seasonal average is 42.7. So with the snow oncoming, we're definitely going to be past that. We can even check Bismarck. Look at that, 9.1. Fargo, 24.4. These are deficits. Omaha is 10 inches deficit. Pretty close in Minneapolis and Sioux City, 15 inches below the 30-year average. So some pretty cool things that I'm working on. We can also take a look at our alerts. Winter weather advisory up north. So yeah, there's plenty going on there in North Dakota. We've also got winter weather advisories. Nothing in Nebraska. Plenty in Minnesota. Winter storm warning. So there's lots going on for that. This would be Southern Lake, North Shore counties in Minnesota. So that'd be kind of the northern portion. Iowa, nothing there. All right, well, I am going to let you all go. I've showed you all that I can at this point with regards to Chaser OS app, and also, what's going on with respect to the severe weather. Let's get to that severe weather, actually. We'll take a look at the HRRR in real time here. And we're not going to take a look at snow, but we're going to take a look at, actually, I want to take a look at the freezing rain and ice. Let's show that. Okay. So this has the potential. This is between now and the 3rd at 4 a.m. As you can see, significant amounts of freezing rain. This is total freezing rain between now and the 3rd of April at 4 a.m. Half an inch near Chandler. Pipestone, 0.36. Woodstock, these are in Minnesota. Let's take a look at the RAP model. That was, it pretty much is spot on saying kind of the same area. So that's going to be tricky to see how that all plays out. But let's go to the severe weather side of it. We'll take a look at the reflective here. And I apologize, I have my iPad using Weatherfront's app. They only have it through iOS right now. So obviously it looked like it was rain in South Dakota there, but it's not. I don't have this is composite reflective. Let me go over to the HRRR so that we can kind of take a look at the severe weather side. We'll go down to Oklahoma. And let's get an update HRRR here. This is 12Z update. Look at that. Big old windbag, squall line developing. Let me back it up here. So this is suggesting some tornadic potential. As you can see, I'm just going to zoom into a couple of different areas around 6 p.m. somewhere near Joplin. Again, this is as of this update, but there's going to be things that'll change. In the southwest corner of Oklahoma, a couple of pop-ups there, and when they're discrete, that's when you got to worry. But it quickly forms a line. There's a couple of little discrete ones, but that's going to form a line. There's around 7 p.m. So this is suggesting that it's going to be pretty late. And then we're going to be 8 p.m. Zoom out here and show you. So if you're in the Wichita all the way down to San Angelo, Texas area today, you're going to want to stay weather aware. Then it becomes just a huge flooding potential here, going over the same areas over and over again, because obviously some of these areas have had drought. It's definitely needed, but just not all at once, and it's going to take a little while for it to get through all those cracks and whatnot. So by the 6 o'clock in the morning, it's pretty well done for the severe weather side. Let's go ahead and take a look at the outlooks. I had this on my app earlier. but I wanted to show you the significant side. So this is what it was trying to pull up. Wichita, Oklahoma, there's a significant 5% tornado hatched area right in those areas that I was suggesting. So we're going to have to be super careful here. Wind 30%. So that you saw that squall line there, and that is what is a great concern. There's also a huge risk for hailers. So be aware of that. This is for today, and if you take a look at tomorrow, all of that shifts more towards the northern side of it. As you can see, Chicago area is in the slight risk. They're going to have tornado risks there in Chicago tomorrow. The wind risk is going to be high. I would say it's probably going to be just as high as it is for day one. They'll probably have a significant wind, and as far as the hail threat, I don't see that happening, but I do see the wind threat getting an upgrade. Going further out into day three, which is Friday, uh, April 3rd, we're going to see where these two seasons, spring and winter, kind of battle it out and duke it out. Between Des Moines here, we've got already on day three, we already have an enhanced. Could we have a moderate risk? That would be another upgrade to what this enhanced is. Yes, we could. Probabilistic, it's right there. If you're going to be in Des Moines for Friday, um, Friday's going to be a huge day for chasers, and unfortunately, a lot of scary things for folks that are not prepared for significant severe weather. Um, so start preparing right now. But that's all I have right now. God bless, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the next update.